Hey everybody, before we get into this video, I just want to thank The Coldest Water for once again sponsoring some of my videos. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you'll probably have seen me talk about their bottles at least once, and I can honestly tell you that I really enjoy them. I actually used mine on my hike to the bottom of the Grand Canyon during my trip to Arizona earlier this year, and the water stayed nice and cold all the way to the bottom, which was extremely refreshing to have. More on my trip coming soon whenever I get around to actually editing it, but enough about that, let's talk about what you really clicked on this video for. As you may or may not know, I've been helping showcase an upcoming tank game called Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks, which will be coming to Kickstarter in the near future. I'm super excited to play the game when the demo is available, and as the first channel to work with them, I've been informed that I'll be one of the first to get my hands on the game, which is great. That's more than enough of an intro though. Please enjoy this comprehensive look at the core gameplay. For your convenience, I'll be dropping some timestamps so you can skip to any part you might be particularly interested in if you don't want to watch the entire video, although I highly recommend you do because the game looks fantastic. Please enjoy.
This is one of the most recent builds that we have. And to be honest, we don't really have any, particular thing that we want to show. We just want you to show the core game loop, completed, so to say. So how do we go from creating your own tank, and how do you see the tank on the battlefield? And along the way, I mean, you'll probably see quite some upgrades and changes in the game in general. Yeah, I mean, feel free to stop me, feel free to ask the questions if there's something new or something that is interesting. We'll do our best to answer it.
Alright, sounds good.
Play name, if you don't mind. Or something like this. I did some spying in your Cone Cult.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. There, save us some time. I will do a bit of. So basically, what I just did, well, you can see I added some of the money, I added some of the resources. To spare us time, I took away, actually, I took in all the. So for the British, this is now researched, available for us to play with. And we go directly to the engineering design, try to build the tank, but also I know that that can be a bottleneck in the future. So for the being, while we'll be doing the tanks, I will start upgrading the production hall. So I'm going to build up sub-assembly line that will allow us to churn those tanks faster. You can see that we have this new an emblem showing how many days is left until the production is done, the upgrade is done. And let's go here into the engineering building. So which tank, I mean, you are more or less free to choose which tank would you like us to build. You have ones, Mark 1, Mark 5, Mark 8. The mediums, the Hornet and the Whippet.
Why don't we do the one way at the bottom? Let's hit the Hornet. Seems like an interesting looking tank.
Let's go for the Hornet. So there we have. Let's build. Let's build it. I can start just taking the tops, when it comes to the modifications. Something in mind, let me know. We can do the enriching beam on that. But let's gear it up a bit, making something that looks like the cockroach. There we go. Along the way, also see that there's new stuff for the player that has not been playing this game. So we tried to as much help as it's possible. Here you can see how the weight is building up, right? You can see which components contribute to what. Also see the same for the attributes. This way it's easier for the player to navigate at the long run. So we do that. We go for we go for this design. You can see it's 6 days, but we also have still capacity. We can sort of feed in more engineers. So let's some more guys for the next project. This we can also hire some workers. Take all of them. For Christ's sake, we're rich. We have money. Go for that. You see that, well, the counters are going. Now things are starting to get a bit ugly because I think we noticed, we talked about different risks that are in the game. So sabotage is one of them. And you can see that in the warehouse, it took place. Why? Yeah, you can see you have a very high risk for the sabotage. The risk for this is, of course, we added, huge amount of resources for the cheats.
Mm-hmm.
And try to put that in bay, the security stations. This is one thing to do. And see if we have any of the trader. Yeah, this one, for example, vigilant leader -5. So let's take this guy in here. He adds this -5% directly. It's little, but it still can give us some handy. In the meantime, let's try that we don't lose too much. Another risk kicks in. Seeing the resources, that was a bit of a disastrous act. But again, we add a lot. We add a lot. Now built, if you just notice, we built the Hornet. So let's go for the running gears. I know that there is compatibility, so these guys, they will not fit into the Hornet for the time being. But these two will do. See that this is the authentic Hornet one.
Mm-hmm.
We have also the Whippet. If you want to have something funny looking, I would recommend this. If you want to have the authentic looking, this one. Which one would you like?
Let's do something funny looking.
Okay. I knew you were going to say that. Okay, well, let's go for this. So we do that. We add engineers. Let's see around what else can we do. So 2 days for this, 8 days for that. This is also going up. Okay, days are rolling there. Building the portfolio of parts, right? We want to make this work. We don't need any turrets for the Hornet. Any sockets. It has only sockets for the, as you can see, it has only sockets for the machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
The machine guns we do have to choose. So we have Lewis, both Hotchkisses and Vickers. You have any preferences that you like?
Let's use the Hotchkisses.
Creator.
See what those look like.
Okay, let's go for. Have the Hotchkisses. We add. I just randomly pick some. Go for that. One Hotchkiss. Kind of cheap. Quickly to be done. Again, this is this is still not the final version, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think that things are going too quick, then well, we're going to, of course, address things. The balances is something to look at the final stage. So now we have done 2 Hotchkisses, which is good. We can go for the power unit. Have some selection, but again, these are the big boys. These are for the rhomboidal ones. So for the Hornet and Whippet, we have only one that we can currently use. That's the twin Taylor. I'll take some stuff. I just hope we are not over exceeding the mass too much, because that mass is an important factor when you offer the tank. In the contract, you might simply not be allowed to offer the tank that weighs too much. Okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
We have. Oh, then we'll have to, not to lose the contract. We'll have to kind of assemble a new design quickly. But let's see. Hopefully, we will be fine. We go here. The design. We start playing a new tank. This is our fellow. Looks familiar, right? Yeah, there's our the cockroach. Let's make it fun. I don't think there was any tank like this, to be honest. I don't think they tried that. We place the stuff. So let's place ones in front. And place this one on the side. Like this one on the side. So we can see the breakup of the weight. Let's say medium weight. We see the attributes. If we want, of course, we can have a look. And since we're doing it a bit blind, we don't know what for whom we're doing this, so we have nothing better, right? That's add some crew gear as well. Usually adds you know, the crew, of course, attributes, so we can make sure those gloves. And the final thing is the name. This one came kind of naturally, you know. I mean, we're on the cone subject, so let's put it like this. Okay,
All right, sounds
so
good.
7 days to go. We have 7 days to go. We can, just for the sake of this, we can try to make one of the rhomboidals one as well. Important to say that currently we need to add in these two sockets when it comes to mounting the weapons. They have always to be taken, otherwise you cannot simply start. You see, if I switch it off, but
Okay.
if I add, and no, I still cannot start. All engineers are sitting there, all 40. I take more stuff. Actually good. So let's take more stuff, more engineers. More. And let's take a guy who is this fellow. He is adept in hull designs, so we'll take him. Here. That's good. So he should help us to speed up the things. Take the hull. Those, and just for the sake of fun, let's take something that looks very different, but it's still distinct. This, yeah, okay. That. And now we're sort of doing two processes in parallel, right? The tank is being designed, but we're ramping up more. We've been very quick because we have lots of money to spend. About that, just ramping up the capacity. Well, this is something new. So you see that we have a new competitive company established. Soon we will attach this menu, enable this. Currently this is not available, but the idea then, as soon as you have, you know, as soon as you have any new competitor and information, you'll be able to track it. So you'll see the list of the competitors, both internal and external, and how they're doing there. Okay, we have a sub-assembly line ready. Here we have things happening. Ramp it up even further. So we put additional there. And since we don't bother about the money, we can take this fellow. He adds more to the assembly, so we can employ him as well. Here. So we can see that we have really ramped up the production quite a lot, already by 35%. More coming. If you have any questions, just feel free to say. Otherwise, I'm like playing with myself a bit.
Oh no, I haven't seen anything too much. I'm curious to see what happens once we start producing them, though.
Okay. So let's make a distinction. So the Hornet was a machine gun, like a female tank. So let's make this one a purely, well, not purely, but it will be armed with the gun. Let's do, what else do we need? We can put this stuff, okay. The sponson, we need the gun, the running gear, the unit. The sponson done. Almost there. To go for, we have the 6-pounder, both the short and the long version. We have the 3-pounder. Any preferences so far?
Let's do the longer 6-pounders.
Let's do this one.
So are you able to produce more than one of the different things at once, or are you limited to just developing one thing?
Oh, no, you can make as many as you want to. You mean in engineering, right?
Yeah, like can you be working on a gun while also having the hull with like different amounts of engineers, or is it only one thing per like until it's done?
You will be locked only to one.
Okay.
In the game, you will be able to develop more like engineering lines, you know, more stations. So you will be able to have more engineering projects than one. That will be one of the things in the attributes, something that you can invest money and you know, expand in that direction as well.
All right, yeah. So you can. It's just not something that you start off with. That's makes sense.
Exactly. It's something that I don't think you really need it from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
You'll be learning your steps in the beginning. So we do the engine, the Liberty. That might be a bit in terms of the weight, but I hope it will still do the trick. There we have. Okay, we have the cone one ready. We have the engine ready. So let's do the final piece of the engineering. I think we can take on. Add any more components, any more modificators, because we, as I said, I mean, mass can be something to miss. We don't want to do that. But we can start producing stuff. For your cone, we cheated a lot with the resources, so we don't need to get careful there. We assign all the working force in there. And yeah, you can see that it's, you know, producing with 10 tanks, that's a really expensive things to do. It takes, well, now I have almost added, what, 120 workers? All those bonuses, it's still 16 days, right?
Yeah.
And we're almost, you know, you can see 114, you can see the total production per day they're yielding with all the bonuses. Let's say if I take away this guy, just for the sake of the example. So yeah, back to 10 was 1,200, now it's 1,000. Oh, and we got our 25%, yes. Done. That is done. While this is being produced, we can new tank. There we go. Hopefully I have not forgotten anything. And again, you see the tooltips, right? So the color, the bronze color usually try to help you out. What is that, where it is important and so on. And here in the list, you can only see the stuff that is compatible with the previous components. You can also here see which sockets are taken, which is left free. You can see the resources. So let's just this is Mark 5. As I said, we forgot. In the Mark 5 has another actually turret, upper one, right? Build this guy. Just add a bit of awareness. So awareness. Well, I know that it's important one in the battle check. Well, all of them are important, but awareness can give us the chance for the first shot, and you usually want to be the one doing the first shot. So we do this. If I'm too quick, guys, just let me know.
No, I think we're moving along at a good pace.
Good, good. Take that one, and we can put the guns there. So we can do this. Fine. And now another important difference, since we have taken the gun, we can have possibility to choose different ammunition. Let's take the solid ones. We can also take let's take the high explosive ones. So they add quite a lot to the higher power damage, I think, there. Okay. Let's call it cone 2. Have any other suggestion?
No, that works with what we've got.
Good. There we have it. So should have 2 designs by now. One is being produced. We're ramping up. Okay, this is a bit of a kind of, because sometimes you have this alternative events. You know, you have a choice to do something. In this particular case, Germany is offering to pay us the money. Give them away the design, one of our designs. And the cost is, well, the price is 50K, which is kind of good, but there is a backside that this deal can be uncovered.
Mm-hmm.
Can get the penalty and the reputation. Say we don't do this for the time being. We add the money just to make sure that we bankrupt. We go, okay. We have a news about the competitors announcing a new design. That is most likely something that we will see in the upcoming contracts as the petition for us to wait. Okay, so we have 10 tanks ready, cone 1s. Let's go and see the assembly line. Let's produce some cone 2s and see how that goes. I think they are a bit more expensive ones, so they can take a bit longer time to do. But we cheated, so we have time. We're good. Let's go. It's 19 days, still good. Then now actually we'll have a production as well. Okay, assembly line 2 is ready. The competitor, yeah, 1,400. So we are really good. We can ramp it even further, I think. Go for that. In the full version of the game, also what kind of upgrades are available. That will be something that the player will be controlling. I mean, it will be you have a possibility to kind of research more upgrades along the game. You just see the list. Okay, so we are building the stash of tanks. Hopefully there will be no fires, and there comes the first contract. We go there. There's your out. Sorry, you're losing a reputation. Let's try to make it up. We have 2 tanks to offer. And we see the competitor tank. I mean, again, for the sake of the demonstration, we are sort of revealing now the success score. This is how attractive the offer from the competition is. And here you can see the success score of our tanks. I know that there will be more contracts coming, so let's do like this. And both of them are fine with the mass, you see. Mm-hmm. So we can offer them both. If the mass will be exceeding the limit, then we won't be able to offer, even if the rest of the conditions are good. Offer cone 2 here. Wait for the outcome. I think comes quick. So we won. we saw the success score, so this is not really a surprise for us.
So that success score won't be visible in the final version, or will it still be?
You will see your success score, but for the competitor, you will see it in the range.
Okay.
I have a feeling the direction, but you won't know. Let's say if you offer it for your success score is 100 and you see that it's 120 to 150, well, you kind of screwed. But if your offer is 140, then you can still adjust a bit the deal terms and, you know, hope you will make it. So we have the contract. This is our contract. We see the deadline. We see the price, description, etc. So I just suggest we send it away. Currently, we have access to 2 companies that are making the deliveries. They come a bit in small difference when it comes to how many tanks we can send in one go. 15, that is, you know, that nothing, the risk that nothing will happen. So we have time, I think, if I remember correctly. But we have only 4 tanks produced, I think. We have only 4 produced. So we'll need to send it in several batches. So we send 4 now. We have 33 days. 3 days before the end of the contract, 14 days for the delivery, and we have 9 days until the full patch will be completed. So that condition, right? Okay, there's an accident. We have a new contract, contract B. Let's go directly there. Of course. That is nice. So we're still actually, we can offer this. Let's offer this one. It's more fitting to the contract, so we'll probably face the consequence of that along the way. But we still win over the competition. So we go for this, I think. We have actually 10 of this already stored in the... So we need to dispose of them as well. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we can send those straight away. We have 10 of those. Ship it away. And also you see, by the way, that I mean when we're shipping, the capacity of the company decreases. So we will need to wait until that's that's back to business. And you have also other parameters. You know, you have like what type of delivery is used and so on, which do matter in the long run.
So do you actually have to? Do you actually need to produce the tanks before you can send them to for the contracts, or do you just have to have the designs available?
That depends. I mean, what you're seeing now, again, this is the work in progress build, and the contract we are dealing with, this is something we call a generic contract. We are in the process of kind of expanding that in different types of contracts. We'll have the typical ones that are, you know, your money makers, resupply or upgrade contracts. And then if you want to offer, you do need to produce at least one before you offer. There will be other type of contracts, and one of them is called like experimental one. This appears when the country is about to decide what kind of tanks they want to adopt. And for that contract, you only need to have a design. So you're offering like a prototype, not the ready-made production. Produced 10, the patch is ready. I think we can the remainder there. Okay. The time is counting. Well, I know the mechanics besides that, and we are simply lucky because we have no employees currently working there. You know, the risks are high. And that's, you see, we have an accident of 12%, well, relatively high. We can, of course, you know, try to reduce it further, but we don't care about that. Now, something starts to happen. So we have the Western Front has opened. So probably it will take some not so long time and we'll see the battles. Okay, the first patch is delivered. We can look at the contract. That was Cone 2. See, Cone 2, you see, yeah, 4 tanks delivered out of 10, right? So, and 6 tanks we send. So we just need to wait now and see. This one delivered as well. Good. To the contract, we got 50K in the pot. Good. And we also got the reputation, as you can see. So the different contracts, they will be adding, and reputation depending on the type. Some add more money, some add more reputation. So that's one of the ways for you to raise the reputation. That's this fellow. Here we have it. And depending on reputation, you'll have different contracts available for you. One signed contract left. Let's see what goes. Have delivered the second patch. Doctrine update. That's a good thing because the doctrine usually comes with the tactics, and they add the effect to the battle, to the battle encounter. So this is good. We have those regiments that were sold. They equip with your tanks. This is the Western Front. See. Starting to go. Things are starting to happen. No battles yet. We would have gotten the announcement about that, but you can see, you can actually see your tanks there, right? There's the Cone 1, Cone 2. This is the guy, and this is the Cone 1. So now they're being deployed. That means that the battle is. We need to wait that long time for the battle to happen. Along the way, we're enhancing. We have decreased the accident risk to MER 2.4. That's good. Sabotage is still there. But at the moment, we don't care. We don't need to bother. We just want to go and see what happens on the battlefield, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is, let me see. Actually an important message because that gives us some perspective of what we might encounter. So here we're taking a certain liberty. We are, as my colleague just recently put it in the Discord, we are currently going more for the gameplay than for the historical, being completely true to the history. But in this case, we learned that Germans have developed a new tank, the lichter Kampfwagen. There's a chance that we will be seeing that soon. Something happens there. Sabotage. Good. We more money from the workers, and the sabotage, if we look, yeah, you see it's still high. Even though we have the perk from the administrator, we have the security, the stored amount of resources. This is simply this is overwhelming. But again, we don't bother. Let's just go for the battles. Another tank from the competitor. And there we go. So this is the first battle, the Battle of Mons. Jump straight into that. See what happens. The units are taking their position. Have the battle there. The battle will be between the Cone 2 and Licht Kampfwagen. Side 15 on this, we see some background history of the battle. We see the scenario, defined scenario when it comes to the landscape, urbanization, intensity, and the infrastructure level, and the unit cards. So let's go and see. I hear some sounds and music. You guys don't hear that, so sorry for that. But what we're going to see now, apparently, we're going to see the outcome showed to us in the cinematic scene. It's split in phases. You see the deployment phase. It seems to be good. We don't have any broken tanks. Comes the reconnaissance phase. So now we're going to see which tanks will see, who will see whom first. The Cone 2 wins the reconnaissance, so it has the first shot. And I have a feeling it will be the final shot. That was a good one. I mean, if we would have had another tank, then you would have seen another outcome here, depending on what is the loadout of the tank, what kind of weapons and so on. It was a quick one. We just have look in depth which parameters, how do they affect, and you can also see the overall result. The thing here, you see, well, we didn't suffer any losses. You see that the unit, how much losses it suffered, but you can also see that it has repaired quite a lot of tanks. Probably it has to do with the repairability attribute of the German tank. So it from 15 tank, 9 was lost, but you know, only 1 is actually completely lost. The rest were returned to the unit. So let's see how it develops. I think we have more battles there. We have a new contract, Company C. But this one actually we have the problem, you see? We cannot offer any of our tanks. That's why. This is too big, so they don't pass the check simply. So this is a contract that is lost to us. But let's see else for the Company A and Company B. So this is the next one. Let's see what's happening now. Right, this is the new one. So this is the Cold One fighting the Sturmpanzer.
This will definitely be an interesting one.
This is a bit, yeah, this is not that obvious. Another map, again, this is work in progress. So the maps, we hope to have more time and improve the maps before the demo comes. There you can see again the tank that you developed. Hope you're proud to see it in the battlefield. That's a good sign again. You are the one to first spot the enemy. But now it's more or less machine gun and then against the machine gun. See how that plays out. It was a miss. We'll get your share. Something tells me that will be actually a draw, to be honest.
Well, it would help if either the tankers could hit each other.
Yeah, but it's the attributes playing his turn, you know. So if we would have, let's say, put more aiming and crew awareness, crew aiming modifiers for our tank, I think we would have hit the Sturmpanzer. Now, what's happening now is actually they're backing down because how many rounds we'll play depends on 2 factors. It depends on the intensity of the battle. It also depends on, you know, of course, if one tank completely and one unit annihilates another one, it's also over. But in this case, only a few rounds because of the intensity, and basically that's a draw. That's a complete draw. Not that bad. Could be worse. But if I remember correctly, there's another interesting battle. Okay, accidents. We can live with those. Tank doctrine is updated, which is good news. We have, okay, so we have more of bonuses now from the tank doctrine. So that hopefully that will ramp up our chances in the battles. Oh, we wait. In the full game, of course, you will be doing a lot of actions now, right? You'll be seeing to complete the research, you'll be expanding your infrastructure, but I just want to jump to the battles. So this is probably a worse news for us, because now we might face A7V. Let's see what that means, actually. You can see the units, they are following, they're preparing for probably the next phase. Now we have a new battle there. It's still not finalized, so the battle probably has started at Mar. Finalized. Now, is going to face A7V, and that is a fairly tough match, I believe. Have another contract. Let's see if we can go for that. No, this contract is low for us because we don't have enough reputation. So this contract will most likely be more lucrative. It will most likely offer more money for the tanks and so on, but our reputation is not sufficient for that. So we have to skip for that. And okay, now the Battle of Mar is finalized. Let's see what happens there. Happening, another new battle there. Esna, not ready, but this one, yeah. Well, let's see this one. Time to take your bets.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too confident about our design. The lack of cannons is concerning.
I share your view. That's bad. That means that actually well, you can see who will get the first shot to do it. Right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Good. That's not good. But next time we can try to do something better. You can almost see the electricity splits there. That's fun. Actually, I never noticed that effect. See that? Okay. Let's see what we kind of managed. The tank managed pretty well the deployment phase. We didn't lost anyone. The unit has successfully deployed. No losses there. But the reconnaissance check was lost to the enemy, so the enemy did the first check, and you can see it hit. It didn't yield any ricochet. The armor got penetrated, and we suffered quite a lot of losses. So even to make it even further, we didn't manage to repair the tanks. That's because probably the repairability attributes are kind of low for this, and the tanks suffered a reputation, while the enemy is enjoying the victory. I think I had 35 units, tanks in the unit, so it's still there. So we had 10, and let's see, that was company B. So I guess company B is down to 4 now. Yeah. That is the core game loop, actually. That's the way you are going to build up the tank and see what happens to them. There's another one. Let's see this one. I've got that feeling about this because this is still company B. Now it's undemanned. It's facing the very same opponent. It's probably going to be
Well, I'd have to blame
So
the
what
British
you
for
would
this.
do?
Keep throwing our machine gun tanks against cannon tanks.
Yeah, one can do that. That's maybe not the most constructive approach in this case, but let's blame the British. But I mean, what one would do to kind of remedy the situation, of course, is to already at this point you have a good guess what you want to do if you want to improve the situation. So you go back to the design board and start producing the tanks that are actually more suited to the kind of enemies. There you go. Enemies that you will encounter. The mechanics is that things are happening. At some point, the country will start issuing either resupply contracts. That is, if the tanks is, they're happy with the tank, but they just had quite a lot of losses. Upgrade. In this case, I guess that will be a complete, upgrade, because this tank, well, clearly didn't really live to the expectation.
Are there
Yeah,
also
so
going to be battles where you can fight against infantry for tanks like that in the final game?
In the final game, definitely. I mean, not in the demo, because that will put quite a lot of constraint on the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
In the final game, you will see these guys, and that will be sort of the main reason why you want to make the guns equipped only with machine guns, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and that will be when it comes to the soft targets, as we call them. There will be different ones. It will be not just the infantry, but it will be also like the art corps. So this is the field artillery. And another type of opponents. The more you proceed into the game, the further you go into the game. So that's. I think we did show the core loop. We showed the mechanics. What else? We may go back to the design table now and try to make a new tank and sell it and see what happens. And for the demo, there will be some additional things added. So as I said, one of the things, the rivals will be unlocked. So you'll be actually to track down and see what's happening with the rivals. If the time permit, we will also try to unlock some other countries. So that will be primarily the France and the US. So you can see that France has its own unit there, right? So that means that there has been a contract by the French government as well, French military, for this tank unit. But you will be facing a pretty hard position there, because the domestic company, they will definitely have heads up when it comes to reputation. The sort of simply what kind of components are available to match the demand. In this case, that's a light tank, I suppose. And some other things that we are going to introduce that are maybe less noticeable, but they will be interesting features for the players. Lars, anything you want to add? Anything that you should show as well? That is.
No, I think you've covered it all. We hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough so far.
Oh yeah, it's very, very cool. You guys have brought this so far from when we first did our video. What was it like? Probably over a year ago now that we did the first one. So you could definitely tell that you guys have been putting in a ton of work. Do you have a release date for the demo yet? Or is that going to be alongside the Kickstarter?
I think it will be alongside with the Kickstarter. It depends. I mean, but it's that's the best thing to do. We have released it independently. If you are baking, if you're a baker, if you're baking the project.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a chance to play and make your own decision about that if you want to support us in the development or not. Hopefully, yes, of course. And next time we meet, actually, and really focus on the upcoming Kickstarter campaign. I mean, what kind of stretch goals decided to put on the table? What kind of rewards? Actually planning to have both the digital and the physical rewards, but all of them will be sort of deeply connected to the tank theme. So it will not be just things that are loosely connected to the game. Everything will have a mark of tank on it. What do you think? I mean, is it something that your subscribers can be interested in to know?
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. We'll see when it releases, but I'm sure that people will find it very interesting. I've had a couple people on my Discord who have asked about the game here and there, just kind of curious where it's been. So there's definitely interest there from people. I don't know exactly how many will be interested in it, but we'll see. I'm sure that the vast majority, once they kind of see what the game is, especially being able to see the gameplay of what you're actually doing, because at the beginning we were almost more of just talking about what the game was going to be in theory, but now that they can kind of see what it's going to be like in person, it's definitely gonna. I think that you'll have a lot of interest.
Cool. That's really inspiring. Coming the anti-tank weapons. This is another headache, hearing that. Well, yeah, thanks, Con. Really, it's we hope people will like, they will enjoy the show, and yeah, we hope to see as many as possible in the Kickstarter campaign, in the comments, in the chats, and also on the Discord, of course, because it's really important for the team to know the direction to take. It helps quite a lot in the development.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to make sure as many people as possible get a chance to see the game, because I get the feeling you guys have a project here that's going to be something that a lot of people are really going to enjoy, especially if keep going at the rate you've been going, because I can see this game being quite popular.
We hope so. There's, as I said, I mean, we have thought about the stretch goals quite a lot. Currently, they're at the stage of we are making the arts for some of them. Some are actually already done, and these are also pretty fun. Besides just more different schools in the game, which is fairly obvious. Then there are other aspects of the game that they really fit well in the stretch goal kind of hierarchy. And it will be interesting to see how people, if they feel that this is worth of, the project or not.
Yeah, really looking forward to hopefully some feedback from your community as well.
Yeah, well, like in the previous videos, hopefully everybody will leave their thoughts down in the comments below. I'll make sure to leave the links to all your guys' social media and stuff like the last times, so they can join in your Discord and ask any sort of questions they have there, or leave them in the comments, because I'm sure you guys will check those when you get the chance.
Absolutely. And also, last but definitely not least, we would be happy to share the demo build before the release with you. Actually, try to to break it and play it. Sort of build up your own feeling for that, not me showing you the way, but trying to do it yourself. I think it can be fun for you as well. I think it can be really
yeah, I can't wait to get
a week before the...
I can't wait to get the chance to play it for a bit to see what it's like for myself. I think it'll be a game that I'll enjoy quite a bit. It's definitely something that is I've been actually kind of waiting to hear back from you guys, because I've really wanted to see how the project's coming along. So I'm very happy to see how far it's come so far. It's looking like it's shaping up to be a really fun game.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, you've been with us from almost the beginning, actually.
Indeed, yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
So that's you'll be the first one to get the demo version. That much we can promise.
All right, that
Yep.
sounds like a plan.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent. Okay, so I think we can wrap it up here. And again, thanks for being with us. We'll be happy to check the comments and answer the questions, and we'll be also checking the Discord a bit more actively. We've been, currently we've been putting all the efforts, all the focus on finalizing the demo build. So we are maybe not as active in the Discord as we used, but we have quite a lot of help from the community actually by now, and also from some of our members are getting more time now. So we'll be ready for the questions, definitely.